The last thing I wanted to get into is this ESPN top 25 of the 21st century. So from 2001 to now, right? So we almost a quarter of a way done with the century. So let's get 25 players for the 25 years that we're about to embark on, right? Which makes sense. It's cool. But the list is not good, right? So I'll put the list up here, and you can see, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can move my let's see if I can. All right, there we go. As you can see, ESPN got LeBron at number 1, Kobe at 2, Steph at 3, Duncan at 4, Shaq at 5, right? Before I get that top 5, let's go all the way to the bottom. Let's go to number 25. Why the hell is Luka Doncic number 25? First of all, out of 24, 25 years, whatever, he's been in the league. When did he come in? Is what we at now? 24. He came in the league, what, 2019? Maybe. 18, maybe. So come on, man. 5 years. How can you establish yourself as a top 25 player of a century and you only been in the league 5 or 6 years? Where you got Carmelo Anthony, that's not even on the list. You got freaking Dwight Howard, who's not on the list. You got Kyrie Irving, who's not on the list. Like how is Luka there? How is he on this list? And then when you start talking about the people who came in with Luka, what has Luka done that Trae Young hasn't done except for this year make it to the finals? He made it to the finals, right? But before this year, he got to a Western Conference final. Trae Young been to an Eastern Conference final. All right. They both leading their team in points and assists. Only difference is Luka grabbing more rebounds. And I think, he's made first team all NBA, but that's a popularity contest these days. But I mean, because I wouldn't put him on there as bad as he is on defense. Like, first team all NBA, you can't be a one-dimensional player, in my opinion. You better be doing some phenomenal stuff, right? So they got 25. They got Luka at 25. That's a no-no for me, right? Then you start to go up. I think they got Iverson very low. How is Nikola Jokic ahead of Dirk? I have no clue. How Kevin Durant is behind Nikola Jokic, I have no clue. This whole list is a mess. So I had to redo it. And before I show you my list, I value both ends of the floor. So you have to be elite offensively and elite defensively, and you have to have team and individual success. And I don't measure success just by you accomplishing and accumulating stats. Like, you have to have something tangible, like winning, attached to your name and doing it on both ends of the floor. For the guys who don't do it on both ends of the floor, you absolutely have to have the winning part down pat, right? You absolutely have to have the winning part down pat. So for example, Steph don't have the defense down pat. He's got the offense and elite offense. He's got the winning. He's got the accolades, the 2 MVPs, right? So he will be an exception for someone that's not doing it on both ends. But for a guy like Luka who doesn't do it on both ends, and you don't have the winning either, give me a break, right? So here's my list. Let's talk about it. Number 1 is Kobe Bryant, right? Who on this list is better than Kobe? Who is more complete on both ends of the floor? Who's more complete with and without the ball? right? I mean, we're talking about all, first team all defense in multiple years. We're talking about scoring champs, scoring titles. We're talking about um, doing it on both ends of the floor, 5 rings, MVPs. I don't know how Kobe's not number one. Then you got Tim Duncan, a guy who won in so many different, I ain't gonna say eras, but he get a ring or two and then go 4 or 5 years and retool his team and then come back and get another one. Like, he's the real longevity king, right? Because he's getting the rings in 2, maybe 3 different decades. No, I wouldn't say 3, 2 different decades, right? Tim Duncan is the guy. And then I got LeBron James number 3, right? For all the obvious reasons. One of the great players, he jumped right off the screen. He too did it on both ends of the floor for at least half his career. He's got the winning. He's got the accolades. He's there. So those are my top 3. Tim Duncan, or Kobe, Tim Duncan, then LeBron. And then you got Shaq and KD. How you put Steph in front of KD, I don't know, but Steph is right behind KD for me. Now, I know Steph has achieved more, but I guarantee you if Steph jumped teams the way Kevin Durant did and had to rebuild, and Kevin Durant was with the Warriors and had continuity with one team his whole career, that'll look a lot different as well. Kevin Durant is taking a very hard challenge by trying to leave the Thunder to come to Golden State and then leave Golden State and try to build in New Jersey or Brooklyn. And then he's getting guys coming in that's failing him, like James Harden. His body failed him, and then he quit. And then Kyrie Irving, his body, his ankle, he injury got the best of him, and then he got suspended. And then Ben Simmons, his body failed him, and then he quit. Right, so that just sucks. And now he's toward the end of his prime, and then Phoenix, and he's trying to restart again. That's not an easy thing. If someone else was doing that, like Steph, then we're looking at something different. If Kevin Durant don't go join Golden State, we're looking at Steph with 1 ring. I don't know how many Kevin Durant would have, but Steph would have 1 ring if Kevin Durant never joined. So, and we just obviously know Kevin Durant is better than Steph, and part of how we know that is when he came to Golden State, Steph moved right to the number 2 role. You don't think that he did that because he know Kevin Durant is a better player? You know what I mean? So then I go Steph at 6. Then I go Garnett at 7. Then I go Iverson. I don't know how they had Iverson always like number 18. Then I go Wade. Then I go Dwight Howard, they didn't even have Dwight on the list, right? And even when I made this list, I forgot Carmelo Anthony. So I would have to redo this list and figure out where Carmelo goes. I think I would have everyone in front of him, and then I'll start debating whether I put whether I put Carmelo at 14 over Nikola or after Nikola and put him at 15 over Kyrie. But if I end up going through everything and it's possible that I might have Melo right at 16 after Kyrie. So 14 and 15 spot, maybe the 13 spot. But that's something I have to sit down and look at, because I forgot I made this list before I remembered Melo wasn't on there. But I don't know why this is the second time they snub Kyrie and Dwight. I don't know why they feel the need to leave him off this list as well. They already left him off the top 75, but now they can't even get on this list, which is funny because they left Kyrie off the list so they can put Dame Lillard and Westbrook on it. And they don't even have Dame Lillard on this top 25 list. Go figure. You know what I mean? So, so we know they snubbed Kyrie and Dame got in because of that, right? But, which is another crazy thing, man. You got Dame not in there. He's on the top 75. Now you got Luka in the 25. That's so odd. Like, that's odd that they got Luka at 25, right? But how you forget about Dwight, Melo, and Kyrie? That is unreal. And you threw Luka at 25. That's crazy. But that's my list. Dirk, There's an argument for Dirk being number 10, or maybe there's an argument for Dirk at number 8 over Iverson, and then over Wade and over Dwight. So that 8, 9, 10, and 11 spot, really everything is debatable from 8 to 15, 8 to 16, including Melo. But I'm solid 100% with my 1 through 7. My 1 through 7, I'm not changing. But that 8 through 16, including Melo, is something that I probably continue to look at. All right, let me look at these comments. All-time leading scorer with no signature move. Thought it was about putting the ball in the basket, not looking good doing it. Shaking my head casually. I don't know what that means. No Derrick Rose. Yeah, no Derrick Rose. That's interesting as well. Dwight is better than Anthony Davis. Not having Carmelo is laughable. ESPN is a joke. I don't watch them unless it's a game on. I don't take nothing they do or say it out is serious. Now, ESPN and they've been doing this for years. When they make these lists, they have to find someone to jerk over or a snub, because that starts the conversation. If they put a list out and it's so accurate, and they put a criteria out, hey, this is what we were looking at and this is how we made our list, it won't spark conversation and debate. So they have to snub someone on the list on purpose, maybe 1 or 2 people on purpose, so there'd be outrage and debate talking about that list, right? It's a lot of people are already talking about this top 25. I think we're going to talk about it again on Friday with the full panel. So, yeah, they do that on purpose, man. They're making content. They didn't make this list just for it to be there. They want content to be made around it. They want conversation to be made, so it's all part of feeding the beast with content. They know what they're doing. You know what I mean? They just, they just not genuine. How do you determine the 21st century player? That's a good question. I wish they would have told them. For me, if you played in the 21st century, I guess you qualify. But making the list, of course, playing more years in the 21st century will make it easier for you to make the list versus someone who played less years, right? So some guys only played like I said, like Luka, he's only been in since like 2018 or something like that. So he hasn't even played a whole lot of years. Yeah, having him over Dwight and Carmelo and Kyrie Irving is very laughable and downright stupid. But said Shaq played for the Magic too. Bron is not better than Shaq. Yeah, I guess that can be debated, but what you gonna do when Shaq tell you himself that LeBron is better than him? Once you bow down to the guy, I can't go against your wishes. I'm a gentleman. So if you say, hey, I want this guy to be considered better than me, like Wade, if Wade get out of LeBron's way and say, hey man, that's our best player, I'm not gonna fight for you. Same thing with Steph. You got out of KD's way and gave him the keys, then that was you admitting that KD better than you. And I'm a gentleman and I'm going to respect your wishes. And sir, Kevin Durant is higher than you on my list, right? It's just how I go, right? So you're not about to get me to go against you. If you think he better than you, then hey, he better than you. If you play 20 plus season using PEDs, playing one side of the ball, playing one side of the court, you can break the scoring record. Sure, yeah. And if you load managing and don't play all 82 games, you can save that body too. All right, this is my last time opening phone lines up, and I open it up for this topic, and y'all can call in and let me know what y'all think about my list, what y'all think about Draymond Green, All that good stuff, man. Let's talk about this list. Let's talk about this list. I think the list is dope. If you want to be real about it, I think I got a really, really, really good list. Better than ESPN's for sure. Caller from Texas, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? It's Big Salute.
What's good?
Not much, man. So your list.
All right, let's talk about that list.
So my issue is on Dirt and his location on the list and Jokic.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I think like, and I understand you said defense, but if it's defense, then Dirt should go back a little bit.
Okay.
Because I mean, most power forwards in the West gave him the business, to include C. Webb.
C. Webb, yeah, he did do work. That's another guy that's left off on this thing. C. Webb, if I went all the way to 25, C. Webb would be on my list.
Yeah. Well, see, because he was playing against Kobe and Shaq when they were trying to get those championships.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, C. Webb should be on. If I do my, I'm gonna finish the 25 out by the time I get to Friday and we doing the full panel. I have my full 25. I have Melo on there. I have C. Webb on there as well. But
okay, don't forget about T-Mac.
I really got to think about that one.
See, I did 24 and 9 in the Army. So I'm just tracking everybody that was playing while I was in, because that's when I actually had time. I was able to watch some basketball and track it. Yeah. That's why I remember C. Webb. I remember T-Mac. T-Mac was doing it big with. He went from Orlando where he was doing it big. He went to Houston where he was doing it big, and then he even went as he got old. Remember when he went to the Spurs and beat Duncan and them boys in like, I don't know, was it 15 seconds?
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, T-Mac was the truth. I mean, even him and Kobe was like, he had to put his elbow on his back just to see where he was at.
Yeah.
Got that jump out the game and they beat him. But that's about it. On the list, I think they crazy. Nash, I think that's pushing, especially if you go back to defense.
Bro, they got I mean, just the fact they put Luke on there, left T-Mac, Vince Carter, Paul Pierce, C. Webb, Kyrie, Dwight, Carmelo Anthony. How the hell do you justify that?
I can't. They digging into MVP. They digging into NBA championships because I mean, I don't see. I like Davis. I think Davis is going to be great, but he's not there yet. Can't play a whole season. I mean, there's so many things about Davis. I think his biggest chance to do well was in this finals, but LeBron had to get a stat, so he didn't get the ball in the fourth quarter, even though he had like 30 before they got there.
Yeah.
But it's like I think Davis is coming, and he just showed us a bunch of glimpses. He's like a flash in the pan. He'll show it to us 1 minute, and just like he was the year before last. 30, next game, 17 points, 11 points, next game, another 30 or 40. He's just back and forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I might even have, as a player, I don't know if he would make my list, but if I'm evaluating players, I think Rasheed Wallace is better than Anthony Davis.
Yes. I was going to bring him up too. But I was like, okay, I can see why they can push back on him a little bit.
Yeah.
But he won 1 too.
For sure.
And then on what Draymond said, if you look at when I comment on YouTube for you, I look at it the same way he did. As far as when they benched Embiid. That was just to say, oh yeah, we benched him last game, so we're gonna tell this guy this game that he's not gonna play.
Yep. He was trying to cover it up.
Even before that, I thought they benched Tatum because they was in the middle of saying why they didn't want Brown, which is kind of like a poor man Tatum. And what they did was they ensured they played White a lot against a big team, which they should have needed Tatum more so than they needed anybody else. They benched him and made sure White played a lot.
Mm.
And I was like, this is justifying why they needed White on the team versus Brown. And then the poor man with a rich man Brown, which is Tatum, they benched him. Which basically tell you, if he was benched, you already know Brown wouldn't have played in that game, right?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I thought, because all that was hitting at the same time.
Yeah.
And then even in the interview when you were showing where they were saying that Tatum missed the day.
Yeah.
Like, what was the media him saying that right then?
Yeah.
When they was talking about not bringing Brown on team, then all of a sudden he talking about Tatum was late.
That was dropping breadcrumbs, wasn't he?
Yeah. I was like, and I agree with your point too. It could have been because he missed first couple of days of the camp or training, whatever. But also the question he asked him was on Brown, and he found a way to make it back to Tatum before he even gave his answer.
Mm.
And I ain't care for that. And then your first call of the day, when he brought up what was his name, Jason Terry.
Yeah.
Jason said, man, I was the one that came in and told that LeBron gave up. He quit that game so Wade would be MVP, and he be robbing to Wade Batman. You ain't checked that yet.
Nah.
Hey, I told you started the fourth quarter game too. When they was up, sitting down, the starters, James came back out to get his stat, shot 2 ill-advised threes. Before you know it, they had to bring all the starters back in. And they lost that game. And after that, for some reason, LeBron couldn't score anymore. And I know he was like, oh, they bagged off LeBron. You telling me Popovich didn't know that when he was at Cleveland? He hadn't seen that before?
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, everybody was backing off him. Sometimes when you look at like Ben Simmons, look at Jason Kidd, look at Magic, you know why they're great passers?
What?
They don't have no J. They used to take the J out of Jason Kidd. They started Asian Kidd.
Yeah.
So LeBron know he's not a great shooter. So he always turns shooters around, no matter how old they are. He wants you to bring in a bunch of old shooters. I
can vouch for that though, because I remember in 7th grade, my jump shot was very, very horrible. But I could pass my ball. Look, so two things about when you can't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
That pass and be on point, and in an open floor. You trying to get to the rim on that fast break, man. I lived in the open floor. Like, you would think I was an elite player in 7th grade when I was on a fast break. If I get that ball on the fast break, I'm nice, because it's hard for you to put pressure on me, and so I couldn't dribble that well in 7th grade. And then I couldn't shoot that well. I didn't get put all that together to 9th grade. But yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
When I couldn't dribble and shoot, my passing was elite. Passing stayed elite, but when I could score and shoot, I'd rather do that. Somebody else can pass. If I get the ball, it's going up. You know what I mean? So that's how it was, man. But yeah, let me get the rest of these calls, man. I catch you on the next one. Thanks.
Hey, too easy. Hey, you love the show. Have a good one.
All right, no doubt. All right, let's get one or two more calls. He said, I give you props on that bit of honesty. I'm always honest. I've always said that. You know what I mean? And that's why I got a little better in 8th grade, but my 8th grade summer before I went to high school was the summer that I worked the most on my game. And when I got to 9th grade, I was ready to go. Caller from Ohio, what's up?
What's up, buddy?
What's good?
Couple things on the ant that think he should start. Who's he gonna start over?
On the Olympics?
Yeah.
And Edwards, I think he do start.
Now I say, who does he start over?
He starts over Tatum.
No, I mean Tatum don't start. I'm talking about if he think he should be a starter, he's not gonna start over Steph.
Anthony Edwards, Edwards do start. He has started. I think it's either him or Booker. I think they both have started.
They haven't started. Not in.
Edwards started. Edwards started game one. He started game one.
Okay, well I must have missed the beginning of game one. Okay, who did he start over?
I think the starting lineup was Embiid, LeBron, Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, and Steph Curry. And
Okay, so he started through. Okay, I mean, I just wondered, if he felt like he should start. I mean, because there's only a couple positions players he would bump out.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, if you want to say who's been outperforming who, the top performers for Team USA in the top 3, you will have to put Edwards in there. Depending on how you value whatever you value, you're either going to have LeBron, KD, and Edwards as your top 3 performers. Your bottom 3 performers is probably going to be Tatum. Of course, Halliburton, because he's barely playing, and
right.
I think Steph is in the bottom 3.
Well, no, because Steph is opening up the floor, so nobody's going to take Steph's spot.
No, Steph look like Devin Booker can open up the floor just as well, and he's actually knocking his shots down. Steph looking really bad out there.
Well, Steph has kind of got that Tatum thing because Steph won't speak up. They got Steph, and you mentioned before. They should call him Steph Corbett or Steph Reddick. He's just running around in circles, drawing attention. He's not bringing the ball up. He's matter of fact, mostly they just having him catching and shooting. Now in the exhibition, when they put the ball in his hand, he dominated. But since they took the ball out of his hand, today he played pretty good. He was 2 from 2, and he had some free throws, but he only had 3 shots. And the way they're playing, they're sucking the game out of him because he's just running around.
Yeah, so, somebody just corrected me and said that Edwards didn't start game 1. It was Holiday, not Edwards.
Yeah, I didn't think Edwards did. Right.
Okay. All right.
Right. So, but what I'm saying, but with Steph, like that, and like that, he's not doing a lot. But I don't think it's because of what he can do. I think it's the way they're playing him that he's just running off screens, which, and LeBron's playing the point. Well, part of that too is because you got Spo and what's his name over there from Cleveland, who is his 2 coaches, and they just and what everybody else is doing, they just running around, and then they let LeBron try to pass to him.
But that answers your question though. If Edwards was to start, it's very easily he'll start over Steph.
But
you got one guy that's playing well, and you got one guy that's not playing well.
You don't think? I don't think Steph's not playing well. I just think he's not. He's not getting, like today. He got 2 shots.
Well, he's not playing as well as Edwards.
But Edwards is being aggressive. So I don't disagree. I don't disagree. He's not playing as well, but he's not putting the ball on the floor. He's running, and all they're doing with him is catching and shooting.
But you're giving me the reasons why. But I'm giving you the answer that if I was to start Edwards, I would take Steph out of the starting lineup. But
I'm saying he's being more aggressive. But I'm saying he can't do what Steph do, and the floor is going to close.
And vice versa. Like if
vice versa.
If Booker is on the floor, they're still going to have the spacing. Now, if I'm being realistic, we would not be playing basketball with LeBron running the point for me. If I was really wanting to put a potent offense out there, while also trying to keep a defense out there, I probably would want to see what it would look like. I still would start LeBron, but I would not have him on the ball. LeBron, you got to get your points slashing, right?
Right.
So I would have LeBron out there. I would also have KD, right? And this instant offense that we're getting from KD off the bench, I would expect that from probably maybe Tatum or Booker off the bench. So it'll change. If KD was in the start lineup, it'll change that second team and who's going to be taking the shots, right? So I would try Anthony Davis, LeBron and KD in my front court, and in my back court, it'll be real interesting to see Edwards and Steph, or maybe if I really wanted to kill them and be big, but I wouldn't have the shooting. I would love to see what it would look like with Tatum and Edwards, with Bron, KD, and Anthony Davis. That'd be real ugly, right?
Well,
and because I really like the idea of having that big lineup. And forget the shooting, right? Because I mean, we act like that's the only way you can play basketball is spreading the floor with a lot of shooters. You don't have to play like that. The Dream Team had, Jordan and Magic in the backcourt, right? That's not a lot of shooting. Then they had as far as small forward, they even started Pippen and had Karl Malone and David Robinson. Where's the shooting at there? But
they had Bird out there.
What they did, but Bird played limited minutes with his bad back. But what they did do is, with that lineup of Pippen and Jordan, the defense was locked down on the perimeter, and they would get a lot of breakaway steals and fast breaks, and that should be your offense. And then you can come off the bench with guys like Booker and Steph shooting lights out, and they wouldn't know where to turn. So I would overwhelm them with that size and quickness. My shooting is gonna have to come from KD. But I would love to see that Tatum and Edwards in the backcourt.
Well, I'll just say this. I want to comment on the Draymond thing. I think it's two things that nobody on the Dream Team can do better than Steph, and that's shoot and dribble. Nobody else got the shot or the handles. But I'm gonna move on to the Draymond. I think and the Tatum, from what I'm hearing, it's because he was late. But if he wasn't, if it was just the coaches thing and their coaching, like I coached before, and I didn't have regular teams where I just had my regular team, and then I didn't have tournament where I've been in a tournament and I stacked my team. And sometimes it's hard to get really a good guy in there, because you was on a magazine and all that has nothing to do when the ball is in the air and you going up and down the court, and you're not thinking about what a guy just won or what he did 4 years ago. None of that matters in the heat of the moment of the game. And on the Jordan Poole thing, I think, and like I'm a big follower of the Warriors. I like the Warriors. Jordan Poole to me is a Jordan Clarkson and the other guy. I don't think he's a starter. I mean, he's a good player. I mean, I love his talent, but I don't think he's starter. I think he's more of a Jordan Clarkson type player, or what's the guy that had the crossover to come off the bench forever, or like a Lou Williams. And as far as him with the Warriors, I mean, however they did that, I think they could have done it a little different, because I think he's valuable. But I don't see him as a starter. I see him as like Jordan Clarkson. He lights it up. I think that's how I see.
He's definitely a starter on the Warriors.
Who?
Jordan Poole. And that offensive system, he's a starter on the Warriors. And the difference between Lou Will and Jordan Clarkson is Lou Will and Jordan Clarkson have point guard bodies, but they play like shooting guards. So they're undersized and they play off the ball, right? And they too much of scorer. They got the scorer's mentality, so they can't play point guard. Well, they can, but it's just not what they're better suited. Jordan Poole is actually 6'4", 6'5" with long arms, and is a real two guard. That's the difference between Lou Will and Jordan Clarkson. And then on top of that, he played in the Warrior system, and he already started for them and played well. Yeah, he came off the bench a lot as well, but when Steph was hurt in the playoffs, he started and he helped them advance to the second round. Not Clay. So let me ask you this: if y'all would have kept Clay, like y'all did keep Clay, and y'all let Jordan go, do you think Clay was a starter last year? The answer is no, and neither did the Warriors. That's why that's why they didn't pay him.
In certain games, I would say yeah.
If you only started certain games, I
think he's.
The Suns.
I think he was at the point he should have came.
Look, even the garbage can gets a steak every now and then. Even the garbage can gets a steak. Just because you look like a starter some games don't mean nothing.
But I mean, I think certain for players out, he starts. I think sometimes the matchup, sometimes, I mean, coach. I mean, coaching
Bro,
don't
just
have
say
to be
no.
one way all the time.
Just say no. Clay was not a
No,
starter.
I'm serious. I mean, wait. We
Just
don't
say
have
no.
to. We don't have to agree.
No,
I mean,
no.
Huh?
Not on everything, but on this, you have to be honest. No. Listen.
That's
You
my
got to be
opinion.
honest. You got to be honest. Clay's not a starter, bro.
I think there's certain situations that I would have started. I mean, I thought about it, and that's my honest opinion. Now, like I said, everybody got their own coaching
Let me
style,
ask you this. If you was single and looking for a wife, and I told you this woman that I got in mind, she ain't wife material, but on certain days she is. Do you want that wife?
I don't get the question though.
Yeah, no. Just answer the question. If you was looking for a wife, and out of 7 days a week, I got a woman who acts like a wife once a week. On certain occasions, yeah, sometimes she's like a wife, but most of the time she's a thought. Do you want that wife, or do you want somebody who embodies a wife 24/7? The reason why I'm asking you that question is because you're saying Clay, no, he's not a starter, but some days he is. No, you got to give me a yes or no answer. Is Clay, if from what you seen last year, is he a starter that you would pay as a starter?
Sometime it would.
Come on,
I mean,
bro. All right. Next caller. No. Next caller. You always do this. You
wait a minute.
You
I
avoid.
can't have an opinion?
No. You can't say anything other than yes or no. Is Clay a starter from what you seen last year?
This is not a yes or no question though.
It is. Yes or no.
And I said
yes or no. No. Yes or no. Is Clay a starter?
Yeah, he's a starter.
All right. And
if you want yes or no answers, I would say yes more than no.
Okay. All right.
Guess
who disagree with you though?
Who's that?
Golden State Warriors.
Hey, and Clay did too because he wanted to leave. I got one more for the top 25. And we got to stop giving KD, and KD he was great with the Warriors, but we got to stop giving KD excuses for the decisions that he made, because in order to be a champion, you have to have championship thoughts. I was taught that as a kid. In order to be a champion, you got to have championship thoughts. If you start making decisions that is not in your best interest, it's nobody's fault but your own. So we can't say if he was in a certain situation, this was what would have happened, because all the decisions, all the situations he was in is decisions that he made.
That's not why I said, I didn't say that to make an excuse. I said that to give you an idea. All right, so people are using Steph's success with Golden State as a reason why he's better than Kevin Durant. Well, we obviously can watch them play, and obviously Kevin Durant's better than Steph. Even Steph agreed with that when Kevin Durant joined the team. I'm going to move aside. Wait, brother.
Go ahead.
Right.
Okay.
What we're saying right now on the USA team, you see how easy it is for Kevin Durant to get a bucket. You see how unstoppable he looked versus how Steph looked, right? So when you take the blinders off of, oh man, he's in that Golden State system, it revolves around him, everyone is looking for him to get his shot and all that stuff, versus this 7-foot monster that shoot just as good, who can also get to the bucket, who can also post up, who can also block shots, who can also guard the perimeter. Steph Curry is not a better player than Kevin Durant. I don't even think it's close, right? But we all know that. So why did everyone say Steph is better? Because Steph got 2 MVPs and because he got 4 rings with Golden State, right? And the reason why I mentioned that's blinding us. If you take that situation out of the equation, you can clearly see who's better on the floor. It's KD, and it's by a mile.
Okay, well, let me say this: is Steph getting the same opportunities as KD did on the Dream Team?
KD
he's getting the same opportunity.
He starts.
Okay, now let me say. Now, in the exhibition, they put the ball in his hand. He dominated. Are they putting the ball in his hand, or is he just running a circle? How many times does he bring the ball up? How many times do they let him shake and bake? None.
Right, but that
They stopped doing that.
That shows you who the more complete player is. If I have to give you
don't care.
If I have to give you the ball and all the time I have to give you the ball, then that's showing me that your off ball skills are not up to snuff. Right? Kevin Durant don't have to have the ball. He's not running point. He's not the one running the high screen and roll. All he's doing is coming off screens, catching and shooting, getting in the post, one dribble pull up, running the floor. He's the better player.
All he's doing basically is running off screen. They're not letting him, like I said, when we watched in two of the exhibition games, when we watched him put the ball in his hand, he got to the basket, he got to the mid-range, and he got his jumper. He was unguardable. Now what you're seeing, they're not putting the ball. If you watch the game today, they're not putting the ball in his hand.
They're not putting the ball in KD hand like that. It's just finding him. It's just finding him.
KD's putting the ball on the floor and he's getting his own shot. He's missing them. He's making them. He's playing good, but he's getting his own shot. And I'll say this: Steph went to 4 finals without KD. 4.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. Think about it.
No, he didn't.
First 2. Wait a minute. Let's count them out.
Did he do it without Golden State?
I mean, I'm talking about first 2. He got without first 2.
You naming. Oh, he went to 4 finals without KD. What does that mean? That don't mean he's better than KD.
We're not giving him credit.
No, that don't mean he's better than KD. He's not better than KD, man. He's not.
Okay, let me say I'm his last point, and I'm gonna let you get another call. Who else besides Tim Duncan on your list? And I like your list. I think it's out of order. But who else besides Tim Duncan has built a dynasty but Steph?
Say again.
Who else on your list? And I like your list. I don't like the order, but who on your list besides Tim Duncan on that list has built a dynasty? But Steph.
Let me pull it up.
Who's built a dynasty? Tim Duncan's the only one.
Kobe.
Kobe didn't build a dynasty.
Yeah, he did. Kobe.
Tim Duncan. You got Kobe because it was Kobe and Shaq.
Kobe, Tim Duncan, Shaq.
Well, you know what? Since Kobe was there for all of them, I'll put him in the mix. And he did do it without Shaq. Okay,
Kobe, Tim Duncan, and Shaq. Kobe, Tim Duncan, and Shaq.
And Steph.
And Steph, yeah. You said besides Steph.
Okay, but is 3 a dynasty? Because I'll give it to him. So, but what I'm saying is, KD hasn't built a dynasty. LeBron hasn't built a dynasty. And the guys you have in front of him, they haven't built a dynasty.
Correct. And what does that mean?
That means that he should be higher.
No, it doesn't mean that. It means that he built the dynasty. Because the reason why the players that like Kevin Durant didn't build a dynasty is not because they couldn't, it's because they switched teams.
But that's his fault, man. Why are you giving an excuse for?
It's not an excuse. It's just telling you. How can you build a dynasty if you leave in free agency? Kobe built a dynasty, he didn't leave. Tim Duncan built a dynasty, he didn't leave. Steph built a dynasty, he didn't leave.
So you got so part of building a dynasty, man, is your decisions you make too.
Part of building a dynasty is not leaving your team in free agency or via trade. That's part of.
And you have to be able to make that decision. I mean, that's just like a guy how much he practices or how much you don't want to practice. It's his decision.
What got to do with practice, man. You're stating a fact and you're trying to connect it to something, but there's no bridge that you can build to connect it. Like building a dynasty. Hold on. I want you to look. I want you to pay attention to this. Building a dynasty and being a better player. How do you connect that when you're comparing players? How do you say building a dynasty makes me better than you? How do you do that? Versus me actually looking at them play on the basketball court and telling you what they can and can't do on the basketball court and what they can and can't do versus maximum defense and maximum effort players and teams scheming against them and all that stuff. When I break it down basketball wise, how do you take it to, oh, but he didn't build no dynasty and oh, he jumped around and oh, like that doesn't make you a better player. Critiquing the game on the floor is what how you determine who the better player is.
But that's part of it to me. I think part
to
of
you
I
it
think
is.
it all,
To you it is.
You got to
And that
put it all together.
and right, to you it is. And that's why the list that was on there said Man Down Sports. You didn't make this list.
I don't disagree with your list. I disagree with the order.
No, but only for Steph though, because you love Steph. Your passion, your heart. No. This is what it is. Look, listen, brother. Because listen.
You can't put that on me.
No.
That on me.
I deal with callers like this all the time. So what it is when you call and you got love for a player, you got passion for a team or passion for a player, you don't like to see them not get the best of what you think they deserve in other people's eyes. So my opinion is touching a nerve on you because you got feelings for Steph, right? You know, and that's fine. Like there's all types of man fans that call the show, but I like basketball. I don't like the men that play the sport. I just like the sport. There's other people that like the men that play the sport. I don't care for them. Never met none of them, but the sport itself is what I really like. So I don't get pricked at my heart and coming having debate with passion. I don't have a passion for dudes. I don't care how good at basketball they are. So my passion is not for dudes. So when you see KD above Steph, your feelings got hurt.
First of all, no, and let me say this. This is just a basketball discussion. I ain't capping for no athlete, no singer, no nobody like that. I don't really care that much. I just enjoy talking sports. So, don't put on me that I just love him or love anybody so much. I mean, that's my opinion when I watch
know how many
him
times
play.
You know how many times you called this show to debate with me about Steph and something I said about Steph? A lot.
A bunch.
You've never called the show to talk about nothing else but Steph.
I just talked about Draymond. I just talked about JT.
And you got to Steph really quick after that.
That was part of it. You don't want to put him on the list. So you made me talk about it. You don't want to put him you don't want to put him out of order. I know we talk about this enough. Like I said, I enjoy talking to you. I like the show. Hey, it's just a couple things that I look at that I don't agree with. Just because you called, I'm dropping Steph two more spots lower. No, keep him there, because then if you don't have him there, I'll call in and we can have this conversation.
All right, brother. I'm gonna get one more phone call before I end the show, man. I appreciate the call.
Oh, me too, man. I just like to talk to you, man. You got a great show. Like I said, I like your show. I don't have to agree with everything a person says, but as long as you agree with enough of what a person is saying, that makes you like the show. You got a good show. But when it comes to certain topics, man, we're gonna have this conversation, and I know.
That. Yeah, I'm cool with it, man. Appreciate it.
I know, bro. Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's get one more call. He always calling and get mad at me about Steph every single time. Caller from California, what's up?
Hey, what up, man? Oh yeah, I'm from SoCal.
What's good?
Y'all, I've been hearing all your topics and all that good stuff, but I really just want to get your opinion on something else. It's about KD and all that good stuff.
Okay.
So there's a lot of factors to keep in mind in all this, but I'll keep it simple. Do you think if it's a two-part question. In 2021, the Nets, if they beat Giannis Antetokounmpo in the Bucks, do you think they beat the Atlanta Hawks? And second, do you think they'll, if they advance the finals, that they beat the Phoenix Suns?
I definitely think they beat Atlanta Hawks. Now, Kyrie Irving he would have been out, right? So the first part about them beating the Bucks, so Kyrie was out. James Harden was on one leg with that hamstring. So if they beat the Bucks, there's a possibility that they could get James Harden at like 75% by the time they play the Hawks. But then there's also a possibility, because KD would have got a little bit of rest and would have been ready for the Hawks, and they would have had no answer for him. And KD probably could have beat the Hawks alone without Harden, right? By the time they get to the finals, Harden might be healthy, but they still wouldn't have Kyrie back. So it would have been really rough. I mean, it's a toss up whether they beat Phoenix or not, but I definitely think they beat the Hawks.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's tough to say whether they beat that Phoenix team with, Cam Johnson, McHale, Aiden, CP, Booker, and the list goes on and on,
Yeah, for sure.
But also, I wanted to ask you also is that I don't think people realize the magnitude of that year, because if KD, well, first of all, if Kyrie doesn't get injured by Giannis on the landing, right? If Kyrie and KD and Harden are all playing, well, there's no changing Harden, right? But if you have KD and Kyrie, that was still a dynamic duo, still running through the league. If they win that year, how do you think their legacies would be different from today? Having won a ring from LeBron.
That's a good question. Now, first of all, if Kyrie never gets hurt, I'm not even sure Harden gets hurt, because I think the fact that they didn't have Kyrie made Harden do a little bit more than what he was expecting to do, and that's how he pulled that muscle. So if Kyrie don't get hurt, I don't think Harden gets hurt either. So they would have went into that Hawks series and blew them out of the water and went and been ready for Phoenix in the championship, and probably would have beat them 4-2 as well, right? So, and what that does is that means KD would have won before Golden State got a chance to win, and the narrative would have shifted to, instead of it being KD can't win without Steph and the Warriors, it would have been sheesh.
Yep.
It would have been something different. And then the whole thing about Kyrie not being able to win without LeBron would have been different. And, we look at Harden a little different because he finally get a ring. All of that is changing. All of that is different. So much stuff would have changed. And then I think the Brooklyn Nets would have tolerated Kyrie a little bit more with the vaccine and the vaccine mandate in Brooklyn. And they would have, it was just the fact that they was trying to re-sign Harden, trying to re-sign Kyrie and KD, and they was desperate to win, right? Because they bought a big three in here. We supposed to win with this, and they was desperate to win. And the fact that Kyrie said, "I'm not getting the vax," just upset them, and they didn't have any patience. But if they would have had the ring, it would have been different. Everything would have been different.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I also think that that Harden, who knows if they do win, excuse me, that if they run it back again, that Harden doesn't, feel some type of way and doesn't get upset and demand a trade to Philly. What do you think about that?
No, he wouldn't have, because that's the only thing he wanted to do was when he was in a rush to win for his own legacy. That's the only reason why he was willing to sacrifice and build the third wheel behind KD and Kyrie, coming back from being a number one in Houston, when he wouldn't even step aside and let CP3, the point guard, play point guard, right? And then he wouldn't even change the offense when Melo was there, and he wouldn't change the offense when Dwight was there. Like, he didn't step aside for nobody, but he was so desperate to win for his legacy so he can change the narrative around him that he was ready to be a third wheel behind Kyrie and KD. And if they would have won, they would have kept rolling. But it was like, I got to get the quickest ring as possible. And Kyrie not playing, I can't get it here, trade me. That's what that was all about.
Yeah, for sure. I just think it's interesting how that 1 year, really changes our basketball history, on how people don't realize the magnitude of what could have been,
Yeah, absolutely. But all right, brother, man, thanks for the call.
All right, thanks a lot, man. I'll be calling again, and big supporter of your channel. Found out this past month, so I'll be calling in again.
Appreciate it, man.
Good work.
All right, thanks.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, I'm gonna take one more. I'll put the number back up there. One more call. That was a good call. I'll take one more. Man, y'all having an all-out war in the comment section, ain't you? Sheesh, y'all going at it. He said the last caller sound like rain when a white man can't jump. Oh man. All right, man. So I guess that's the last phone call. Appreciate y'all for sticking it out with me, man. If you haven't hit that like button, make sure y'all hit the like button, man. That's a really easy way for y'all to help the channel out. Hit that like button. Appreciate all the comments and all of that stuff, and appreciate all the call-ins. Make sure y'all hey man, if y'all starving for content throughout the week, man, just go look at some of my old stuff. There's a lot of good stuff up there. And then I catch y'all again on the full panel on Friday, 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern time. Right. But until then, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night, man, and I'll see y'all Friday.